Today we continue talk about the situation on the front line of the Russian-Ukrainian war. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video, write some comments and subscribe our channel to show your support for the Ukrainian people who are fighting for their future and for their freedom. The Ukrainian bodyguards fried the Russian occupants in Kupiansk area. Soldiers of the Steel Frontier Assault Brigade discovered an enemy observation post. During the assault, the bodyguards eliminated 2 Russian occupants and captured 2 more. The Ukrainian Armed Forces advanced in Tokmak area, in the east of Novoprokopivka. In the video, Ukrainian soldiers storming the Russian occupiers' positions at dawn under enemy mortar fire. In this area, Ukrainian army liberated another 1.5 kilometers of territory. The Ukrainian Armed Forces also advanced in Bakhmut area near Klishchiivka and Andriivka. Ukrainian soldiers entered Opytne and liberated part of the village, which is very close to Donetsk. We could talk about the intensity of the fighting in this area for a long time, but it is enough to look at the satellite images on fields and landings, almost every of them covered by hundreds of artilleries and MLRS strikes. The situation in Donetsk region is unexpected for the Russian occupiers. Russian military is now actually afraid that the Ukrainian Armed Forces will be able to enter the suburbs of the Ukrainian occupied regional center in Donetsk. As it turned out, the Russian troops had received orders to conduct a gradual and organized retreat from their positions closer to Opytne, but due to the low morale of the soldiers, as soon as they finally heard the word retreat, they did not bother to organize it and began to leave their positions. Russian drone operator spotted up to 200 soldiers moving toward Opytne, and he thought it was a massive Ukrainian attack, so he called for artillery support. And the Russian artillery began shelling the fields in front of Opytne with fierce intensity. A few hours ago, Russian sources said that due to a lack of coordination, a terrible accident occurred in which Russian artillery killed and wounded at least 61 Russian soldiers. At the same time, Ukrainians are trying to completely cut off the Russian bridgehead in south of Avdiivka. This is extremely important, because if Russian troops advance a few kilometers in north of Opytne, the Ukrainians in Avdiivka will be operationally surrounded. Cutting it off will negate more than a year of Russian efforts and greatly simplify the defense operation in and around Avdiivka. This is how Ukrainian soldiers have captured the most modern Russian tank T-90M. It cost about $4 million. After some minor repairs, the tank will go back to the front and fight against its previous owners. And this is how Russian Ka-52 helicopter practicing 2 Vihor anti-tank guided missiles on the Ukrainian Armed Forces equipment near Bakhmut. A BTR-4 came under attack, in a rather interesting demonstration of the BTR-4's survivability. After the first hit by the ATGM, BTR continued to move as if nothing had happened. Only the second helicopter launch at ATGM managed to stop the vehicle. Russia has spent hundreds of missiles and drones to destroy dummies. Among the samples of equipment being copied are D-20 and M777 howitzers, air defense systems and radars, but the range is expanding with the number of types of equipment. Ukraine is actively using dummies to force Russian troops to waste drones, missiles and shells. By the way, the 155mm M777 howitzer, which is in service with many NATO countries and the armed forces of Ukraine, costs up to $4 million, while its dummy made of ordinary silver pipes cost $1,000. Businessman Renat Akhmetov Metinvest is engaged in the production of exact copies of military equipment. This is how Ukraine continues to fight for its future and for its freedom. Please do not stand aside. Support Ukraine. Like this video, write some comments and subscribe this channel. Glory to Ukraine, glory to heroes.